was a petition or motion filed that my BD not be around his kids. And they needed certain information from me to make sure that he was not able to be around April's children. And initially I had told them, no, I'm not a rat. I don't like the nigga, but at the end of the day, I don't want to be dragged into this, especially to protect somebody else's kids. And when he gets upset and he gets mad, what's going to happen to me and my son? What does that mean for but you want to leave me and my son just to fend for ourselves? And I was gearing up to go to court. So I made my own little deal with the other side. And at that point, I thought to myself, if the roles were reversed, would he do the same for me? If the roles were reversed and, would he just mind his business and, no, I'm not throwing my BM under the bus? No, he wouldn't. He absolutely would not. So I said, fuck it. And so when we got to the reunion, I was like, yeah, all right. And then when it was very interesting because when I saw Omari's interview on, is that everybody assumes that nothing is being done. I already knew what was being done. I already knew about the motion. I already knew that the judge had ruled in O's favor and Drew was not to be around his children. I already knew all of that. So, at the end of the day, I don't know anything outside of what involved me and my son. Outside of that, and making sure that if I gave up the I went back to minding my business. But that whole scenario was very interesting because they had been on each other since 2017. I had never said a word, and I knew. And we have so many mutual friends, and I would skip certain events because people would hit me and be like, oh, they're here.
What is up, you guys? It's your girl, Brand New, and honey, I am back in the building. And this time, honey, I'm back to talk about the messy situation between Omarion, Lil Fizz, aka Fizzle Pop, in the words of Moniece. That is so funny to me. And y'all heard everything that Moniece said on her Instagram Live about how basically she fed the courts, the information they needed to hear about Fizz being around April and Omarion's children. She pretty much helped to facilitate that. My thing is this. A lot of people would say that Moniece is bitter, and I'm not going to lie. I have come down on Moniece in the past because I feel like she does come off as a bitter baby mom. But at the same time, I have noticed Lil Fizz is not in his right mind either and has not always treated Moniece with the respect that she deserves as his child's mother. And I just feel like with Lil Fizz, when he gets with a new woman, and I know all about this, you guys, because I have went through it in my life. When your child's father gets a new woman, he tries to treat you like shit and tries to put this woman on a pedestal and tries to treat her like a queen. And I have seen, and a lot of us, the viewing audience of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, we have seen Little Fizzle Pop do such action. So I'm not upset anymore about Moniece being petty. If she got time, if she want to, devote her life into doing that, that's fine, because I do believe that man tries to disrespect her, and he's very passive aggressive with it. I can only imagine, you guys, how Fizz treats her outside of the cameras. I didn't like how him and April acted on the show when they tried to, I don't know, it seemed like they tried to hurry up and tell Moniece that they're together and she already, figured it out. But it was how they told her, like, oh, well, we together and this is what it is. And oh, well, and I don't care if she cares. And, they were just kind of nasty about how they did it. And you could tell Moniece was definitely caught off guard because her and April at that time were cool. They were, somewhat building a friendship. Remember, they were going to go out on tour together. K. Michelle said, that's a no, you should not do that. And I agree with K. Michelle, but, I didn't like how they blindsided Moniece with their relationship, even though I think that Moniece put 2 and 2 together and figured out, they were messing around anyways. I have dragged Omarion in other videos and I will continue to do so. Because I feel, and I have the unpopular opinion, you guys, that this man is bitter, okay? When you and your ex are not together anymore, it does not matter if you have children with them or not. You do not need to control who the children are around unless your ex's spouse has put hands on the children, has did drugs in front of the children, has been belligerent and drunk. I need to hear more about this situation, but this whole thing of Omarion playing, this power card of he is the big celebrity in this situation, he just really, in my opinion, you guys, comes off as being a narcissist, comes off as being selfish, controlling, bitter. And I'm not bothering this whole unbothered facade. And yes, I did say facade because that is simply what it is. And most of us women that have child's fathers ourselves, we notice the games that Omarion is playing because those same type of games were played with us. Okay, so when April, and I did cover this, you all can check my videos where April did an interview with Nick Cannon, and she stated that Omarion has her back and forth through the courts. This was before she even got with Fizz. He was being controlling. I didn't really need to hear that because I saw how he treated her on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. And now that I'm thinking about it, since occasionally I do stories on them, you guys, I think we do need a series on Omarion, Fizz, Moniece, and April. I think that would be a good series to kind of take everybody back because I do not feel that a lot of people really paid attention to how abusive Omarion was to April, not physically, but emotionally. He was very abusive, him and his mom, towards April when they were on the show. Now, is April a victim in all of this? Absolutely not. April has been tired as hell for some years now, always talking about her pussy and who she would let hit and, just acting in such a unladylike fashion. And what's very weird with April, you guys, is when she was with Omarion, in my personal opinion, she was classy. She was. We didn't hear her really talking these type of ways. She was the voice of reason, especially when it came to Tierra Marie and Princess Love and their issues, or any other women on that show that had issues. They all would go to April like she was the mother hen, and she would offer very good, sound, reasonable advice. But we see later on down the years, April is a troubled soul. She is being messy, yes, by messing with Fizz, knowing that Omarion and Fizz have had a working relationship. I do feel like that's messy, but at the same time, Omarion cannot act off of emotion just because he does not like who April chose to be with, because a hit dog will always holler. And if a hit dog is hollering, i.e., keeping April all up and through the courts, that shows that you are bitter and you do not have a proper handle on your emotions. I have yet, like I said before, I have yet to hear why Fizz is being kept from Omarion and April's kids. Now, if he has did anything belligerent or, anything disrespectful, then by all means, do what you have to do, Omarion. But I have yet to hear, what specifically has he did besides mess with somebody that is an ex. Yes, you have children with April, Omarion, but you do not own her. Okay? You don't own anybody. And we all know that Omarion already punished little teeny tiny Fizzle Pop, whatever you want to call him. He's already punished him by taking him off of the B2K tour. And y'all remember Omarion went out on tour, for himself. I would personally never check out Omarion because I'm just not checking for him like that. And I did like him, in B2K and as a solo artist, but as a man, I do not respect him. I don't like this whole situation. I'm not saying he's the only one, you guys, that is wrong, but I do not like men that ride the bitter bus and try to punish their baby mother every chance they get to exert their power. I just do not like or respect that. So you will never hear about me being at one of his bitter ass concerts because I do not clap for fools, okay? If Omarion truly wants to prove that he is unbothered, he would have to stop taking his baby mom back and forth through the court system, trying to control what city and state she lives in, trying to control this, trying to control that. I need reasons for why you're doing that. And a lot of people will say, well, it's April's slutty behavior. Before April was out doing such things, he was already being controlling. Let's keep it real. And like I stated before in one of my videos, I do not feel like that relationship between the two of them ended on the best of terms. I believe she had that second baby and she said it out of her own mouth. He had left for a couple of days and came back and said he didn't even want to be in a relationship, with her no more, with little to no explanation. That is what narcissists do. They discard you once you have served your purpose. So I think that is a terrible way to treat somebody. And I am a big believer in karma. Okay, when it comes to this whole situation, because when you treat people like that, karma has a way of, paying that ass a visit. Okay, you may not like the visit, but it does not mean karma will not come knocking at your door. So this whole situation with Lil Fizz and, all these random men, this was created, sir, through your behavior. And yes, April could take the high road and not act out on the internet. I haven't really seen her make a troubling video, you guys. Maybe I just saw like one and she was talking about how she wouldn't hang in there for a man that's in prison, and that wasn't too bad. She still shouldn't have made it, but whatever. You can't stop the girl from living. But you guys, I am not buying this whole thing of, well, April is just a bad mom and she's a bad person. And, Omarion has contributed to this. Lil Fizz is a problem as well. I believe he knows, what he's doing. And I believe, like I said before, he's very messy with throwing women in Moniece's faces. He'll be cool with Moniece when he's not with anybody. And as soon as he gets with somebody, he's going to act a fool. And once he got with somebody like April, who they all have mutual friends and they all have been around, the same type of people. All of them kind of know each other. He probably began flaunting April around and treating Moniece like shit. I seen it on the show and I can only imagine what is going on behind closed doors. So like I said, you guys, he's not innocent in any of this, but this whole thing of, I don't want my kids, around this person because, they owe me loyalty, and that's not how the world works. That's not how people is. People, I told y'all, they go do whatever the hell they feel like doing. And if he was there to pick up the pieces, of how you left April, Omarion, it is what it is, and it's not right. it, but it is what it is, and life is unfair like that. But life will always be unfair and unkind to people that started, this whole situation. And I believe he dogged that girl, and a lot of times when a man dogs a woman like that and leaves her in such a fragile state, especially after putting 2 kids in her, and then the whole little $700 child support payment. If I'm fucking a man like Omarion, I don't want no punk ass $700. I don't want no $700. I want $7,000, or hell, more than that if I can get it, but I digress. But like I said, you guys, something is not clean in the buttermilk, okay? The way that Phaedra would say. So none of them, you guys, are innocent. I don't really feel too bad for any of them. Who I do feel bad for is the kids, Omarion and April's kids, and even Moniece and Fizz's son, is being dragged in the middle of all of this. I feel like a lot more positive energy could be, put forth towards the children, but honey, that's a story for another day. If you have more insight on this situation of why Omarion wants to control April and wants Little Fizzle Pop to stay away from his children, please get down in the comments and, let me know what you know about the situation. But right now, your boy Omarion is looking very bitter and bothered. And I told y'all before in my other video, and you could check that out, okay? All right, you guys, that is all I have to say on this situation. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am your girl Brand New, and I will check you guys out later.